guys, this is your Pharmacist Sidra and welcome to this week's episode of Responding to Your Comments. In this week's episode, I picked the question which I get asked all the time, be it Instagram, YouTube, emails. So I thought, why not make a dedicated video on it? So let's dive right into it. Well, the question I have is from Gaming Room. Well, quite interesting name. And the question says, you're such an inspiration for me that I started PharmD. And just like you, I want to become pharmacist in US. Can you please explain your career journey, where to begin, and how can I set up for FPGE exam? Please answer. Well, Gaming Room, thank you so much for your comment. I literally feel so honored when I get comments and messages like that. I am so glad and thankful that I'm able to inspire some of you guys and move the needle in a positive direction for the pharmacy profession, because I don't know what it is, but lately I do see a lot of hate coming on the pharmacy profession and a lot of people just not sharing their true insights. So I'm glad that I'm able to kind of clear up some of the concepts for you guys about the profession and give you a good positive perspective of it. Now, I have several videos on my career path, but this is such a frequently asked question that I feel obliged to answer it like over and over. So here you go. Well, I was born in Pakistan and I am US resident since I was about, I want to say like 16. And I decided to do my PharmD from Punjab University, Pakistan, and not from one of the universities in the United States. And that's because it costs me literally a fraction of money. The education in Pakistan is so cost effective and affordable compared to that in US. So when I was done with the pharmacy school and licensing and everything, I literally had zero debt compared to had I done pharmacy in US, I would have at least 150,000 in debt. So once I finished PharmD in Pakistan, I came to US and did a bunch of volunteer work at like a hospital pharmacy. I also worked at an independent pharmacy for a little bit. And then I started my first official job in US with Walgreens. And that's when I kind of really got the hangout of the pharmacy profession in US. I got to learn a lot while I was working as a grad intern at Walgreens, and it took me some time to get licensed, but I've been with Walgreens for almost, I want to say like now 8 years, and I'm a pharmacy manager there. And so that's that with Walgreens. But I also teach pharmacy technicians, and I have like a pharmacy tech study guide channel. And of course, I love to make these pharmacy videos for you. So that's just a little bit about me. The second half of your question, Gaming Room, is that you're asking, what is the process to take the FPGE? Now, for those of you who don't know, FPGEE is a comprehensive pharmacy exam that you take in US if you are a foreign pharmacy graduate. And I know it gets very intimidating. Even it was intimidating for me, even though I was living in US and I went to Pakistan to do my PharmD. It was intimidating for me as well to come back here in the education system and figure out what to do. So here you go. I have this detailed video for you guys, so that way you can really start from step 1 to step 5 that I'm gonna share in this video. And one thing I want to say, like a quick overview, that as a foreign pharmacy graduate, you just need to pass TOEFL and FPGEE to get the intern pharmacist license, which will make you equivalent to a pharmacy grad in US. So once you have that grad intern license, all the requirements are the same, or the steps that you have to take further are the same that are required for the students that have done their pharmacy in US, which is like they have to take 1,500 internship hours. You also have to pass NEPLEX and CPGE or MPGE, which is the law exam based on where you would like, which state you would like to be registered in US. Now, the initial steps of setting up for FPGEE, like I said, are intimidating. So that's what we are gonna go through in this video. There are 5 steps, simple, easy to understand. If you want to take notes, please do so. But these 5 simple steps are all you need to get the intern license to become equivalent to the pharmacy students in US, okay? So let's talk about the first step. The first step is to make your e-profile with NABP, and NABP is National Association of Boards of Pharmacy. You need to have an NABP e-profile, and you have to have an e-profile ID number because you will need an account with NABP to submit the online application for the FPGE certification. Now, I know this already sounds so complicated, so let me give you a quick overview of the whole process in the simplest possible way. Next on the screen, I will take you to the NABP website and show you how you can create an e-profile. To create NABP profile, simply search NABP on Google. Make sure you have the most up-to-date version of Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge for best experience and not Internet Explorer, because that wouldn't work. Then you're gonna click on the official website, which is www.nabp.pharmacy. On the home page, you will select individual tile, and then this page pops up, and here you'll click create login underneath the red login button. Here you'll enter your email address. Remember, the email address you enter will become your username. Then you will receive a code to verify your email. Follow the prompts and then create a password that meets the requirements on screen, and that completes your create login process. Next, you will click the red Go to Login button and log in using your email and password. Once you have logged in, you'll now see the NABP e-profile dashboard. Here you want to click on the Create Individual e-profile tile to set up your account and receive an e-profile ID, which I'm going to show you how. So here on the next page, you will select pharmacy student, since at this point you are unlicensed. This is basically based on your status in US. Next, you will enter your personal information. Make sure this information matches exactly as it appears on your ID. Otherwise, you're going to have problems later, and you don't want that. Then continue on to the next screen and add your contact information. Finally, review the information for accuracy and agree to the NABP e-profile terms and conditions. And here you go. Now you have successfully created your NABP e-profile. The ID number on screen is your NABP e-profile number. You can now go ahead and click Finish e-profile button. Alright, now that you have the e-profile created, you're gonna move on to step 2, which could be very intimidating for some people, especially if your mother language or the official language of your country is not English. And yes, you guessed it right, it is the TOEFL exam, which is the English language exam. And for this exam, you kind of prepare and register with TOEFL IBT. But here's the thing, some people think that they can take TOEFL first and FPGE afterwards. Well, when I took the exam, I actually took the FPGE first and then I took the TOEFL, but now they have changed a little bit. The FPGEC applications are only valid for 2 years. And so you must pass the TOEFL IBT exam during this time frame before you actually, register for the FPGE. So when I was working towards my license, I took my FPGE first and TOEFL later. But since then, the protocol has been changed. You have to take your TOEFL first and FPGE later, and it's because you have just a 2-year time frame period for your FPGE exam. That's why the results of the exam are valid for only 2 years, and if you don't pass the TOEFL within that time frame, then your FPGEE is voided. And a lot of people weren't passing the TOEFL in that time frame, so they switched things a little bit, and now you have to take TOEFL first and the FPGE. I find this quite interesting because pharmacy is hard and FPGE exam is hard too, but all these foreign grads who are able to pass FPGEE very easily without any problem, but they struggle with the TOEFL. TOEFL is an English language exam which is, taken to measure your English reading, listening, speaking, and writing skills. There are 4 sections in the test which must be completed in one testing session. Like, you go in one test session and you have to answer questions regarding your reading, writing, and speaking skills. And for those who ask whether you can take TOEFL in your home country, the answer is no. Unfortunately, remote or the at-home TOEFL IBT exam is not accepted by FPGEC. I passed my TOEFL exam in 2nd attempt, even though I've learned to read and write and communicate in English all my life, but TOEFL is not just about that. It requires you to prepare good answers that you have to deliver in a very short amount of time, which could be very tricky. And it's not just about speaking English. Like I said, I totally spoke and wrote English like all my life, ever since I was a kid, but still I couldn't pass it in first time. It's very intimidating. So don't beat yourself if you are not able to pass TOEFL, because the exam is very very time sensitive and tricky, which makes you like all conscious. You have to have proper answers, which is passing the TOEFL exam is a complete another topic on its own. But if you want to make me a video on the tips and tricks to pass TOEFL, let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to share my feedback or my tips and tricks for the exams. Alright, now that you have passed TOEFL, congratulations, at least one thing out of the way, right? So now let's move on to the next steps, which I'm gonna share step 3 and 4 kind of together because both of these steps go hand in hand, and here's why. In step 3, you will need to evaluate your foreign transcripts or degree and apply and submit your application for FPGE. So let's first talk about your degree or transcripts evaluation. So in this step, you want to collect your foreign degree credentials. Whatever you have, transcript or degree, you're gonna collect that and submit to the Educational Credentials Evaluators, which is ECE, and they're gonna kind of evaluate your degree, and they may take up to, I want to say, 8 weeks, less or more depending on how busy they are. ECE will send your report directly to NABP. They're not gonna send it to you. And that's why you need to have the e-profile set up beforehand, because if you don't have the e-profile set up, then ECE can't send your documents to your e-profile, right? So another thing to remember is that ECE requires you to submit the official transcripts, translation of the non-English documents, in a sealed envelope sent directly from your institution to them, or you can send it to them, but they have to be in a sealed envelope. And a payment fee of $450 is required to get those evaluated. So for me, even though I brought my official transcripts with me, I had to ask my friend to go to Punjab University on my behalf and get the sealed transcripts and mail it to me so I can submit it to ECE. So that's very important. that may take additional time, right? Because like I said before, ECE requires a properly sealed envelope by the issuing body, which in my case was the university, because my license with the Pakistan government was not issued yet. I came to US right away after finishing my school. So if you have a Pharm D license, you must have it properly sealed in a way that the stamp or signature of an official is across the seal of the envelope or the flap closure of the envelope, to ensure the confidentiality of the documents, or just to kind of verify that this document has not been opened when it reaches ECE. Just remember, the envelopes that are not sealed as outlined in the application bulletin, or that appeared to be tempered, or that you tried to open it and peek into it, they will not be accepted by ECE. ECE then will verify your degree and credentials, and this is the only organization that can evaluate your credential. You cannot go to another evaluator, because NABP is just coordinated with ECE to evaluate the documents. And I totally recommend submitting your ECE application prior to submitting your FPGEE application, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But just remember, the documents that are not in English, they have to be translated, and when getting them translated, you have to follow the translation requirements, which are specified in the candidate application bulletin of FPGEE website. And for your convenience, I will put the link of the bulletin on the screen, and also it'll be in the description. It is definitely a good idea to go through it, read it all together. I know it would be a little bit complicated, that's why I have this video to brief everything out for you, but still, I cannot sum up everything in the video. It's very important. I highly encourage you to go read that bulletin after you're done watching this video. All right, now let's move on to the next step. Remember when I said step 3 and 4 go hand in hand? So while you're doing step 3, also do step 4, because once you have the sealed transcript or degree or documents, whatever, in your possession, you will now submit your FPGEE application in the foreign pharmacy section of NABP e-profile. So while you're getting those sealed envelope prepared, you also submit your application, and the application fee is $100, and the evaluation fee that I mentioned earlier is $450. So that's altogether $550 for you right there. Both are non-refundable. So you have to make sure that, just do all of this process when you are really ready to pursue for the test, or when you're really ready for the whole process. Now let's talk about what is the FPGEE stands for, right? Because we're talking a lot about FPGEE, and then there is FPGEC. Do not confuse. FPGEE is the exam, and the FPGEC is the certification, which FPGEC stands for the Foreign Pharmacy Graduate Examination Committee, and they oversee the FPGEC certification process, and they grant the certification with the support of NABP. So both of these entities kind of go hand in hand. They coordinate to get you that FPGEC certification, and you do require that FPGEC certification and the TOEFL results to submit it to your relevant board of pharmacy to get the intern pharmacy license. Okay, so the FPGEC, they evaluate the qualification of the pharmacist licensed and educated outside the US who wish to become licensed pharmacist in US. So that's their job. The FPGEC committee, that's their job. And so as a foreign grad, you have to have, like I said, that certification, FPGEC certification, in order for you to qualify for NAPLEX and MPGE or CPGE exam, which is the law exam, right? So after you've submitted your application fee and evaluation fee, I recommend that you send all of your supporting documents to NABP at the time of submitting your application and evaluate, because the evaluation of your FPGEC application will not begin until all of the documentation is received. And this documentation also includes your TOEFL IBT score report and the sealed envelope from your university or whoever the source of your license is. And after you submit the application, you have 2 years to meet the requirements for acceptance to the certification program, and make sure you review all the documentation requirements thoroughly before they are submitted, because your evaluation may be significantly delayed if the documents are, let's say, sent incorrect. So definitely check the NABP website to see all the requirements. They have a complete list of the supporting documents. I have the link in the description, and I'll try and put the link on the screen as well, but definitely do check out that link and check all the required documentations that you need to send. Because remember, this application that you submitted to NABP after your whole evaluation will make you eligible to take the FPGEE exam. And the evaluations are prioritized in the order they are received, and they update the status of your evaluation on the NABP e-profile. And sometimes, people send them emails and call them requesting the update of the application. Just don't do that, because that's not gonna expedite your evaluation time. Just keep checking on your NABP e-profile to see if the evaluation is done or not. But again, I cannot emphasize enough on taking your time to submit the proper documentation, because anytime an incorrect document is received, the evaluation will be delayed, because then you'll have to submit the new proper document with corrective action, and this would restart that 8-week time period that you have to wait for the evaluation. Okay, so in this last step, you are basically just waiting for your evaluation to be completed, and once the evaluation is complete, you will receive the acceptance notification in the NABP e-profile. Now is the time that you can schedule the FPGEE exam, and you will have 2 years to take and pass the exam from the date you were accepted. The FPGEE exam is administered once a year. Back then it used to be twice a year, but now it's just once a year. So you have to be more vigilant about making sure that when you're applying, you check the dates and you are kind of keeping in mind that time period that, okay, I will be taking my exam by the end of 2023 or 2024. And so you have to keep all that time frame in mind when you are submitting your application. You can check the testing dates, the course outline, and other important information that you need to know about the test in their application bulletin that I mentioned earlier. I'll put in the description. The FPGEE exam includes multiple choice questions. It is a 4.5 hours long test, and it has 200 questions, and the minimum passing score is 75. Now, it's not like 75 questions correct. They have a different passing scale, so it doesn't mean that you have to answer 75 questions correct out of 200. The test just covers different areas of the pharmacy, just to kind of test your basic knowledge of pharmacy. I personally thought the FPGE exam was really easy, and all of the friends that I know who took the FPGE exam, they thought it was really easy. I think the whole application process and TOEFL is what's kind of intimidating and time taking, but FPGE exam is easy if you totally get grip on all the areas that they mention in the course outline. And you have to kind of be smart when you are picking the correct answers in the multiple choice questions. You always rule out of the 4 options, you always rule out the 2 which you think are totally incorrect, and then you're left with 2 choices, and then off the 2 choices make an educated guess and you should be okay. All right, so next that you have taken the test, you will have to wait 8 weeks to get the scores posted on your NABP profile. They will also send you a letter of but they send the letter of passing scores like a couple weeks later. But once you have completed all of these steps that I mentioned earlier, that is, you pass the FPGE exam, you have passed the TOEFL, of course. If you pass the TOEFL, that's when you take the FPGE exam. Then it takes about a month or 2 to get the FPGEC certification, and once you have that certification, you're gonna go on to the Board of Pharmacy website. I did it with the California State Board of Pharmacy, so I'm gonna just describe that process. I went to the California State Board of Pharmacy and I just applied for the intern license, and I just submitted the application fee, and then you have to get your fingerprint scanned, and you submit your certification, and then you wait about 8 to 10 weeks. Board is always like behind, so it may take a little bit longer for your intern license to be received in mail. You may get it online though, but once you have that intern license, you will have now 2 years to finish the 1,500 hours, and of those 1,500 hours, you have to have certain number of hours in hospital pharmacy, and then you can do half and half, hospital and retail pharmacy. My interest mainly was retail pharmacy, so I did most of my hours at retail. I did do almost, I want to say like 200 hours at the hospital, which is totally fine. Like, they don't really tell you the percentage of the hours that you have to do at hospital and retail, but you just have to have a supervising pharmacist sign for you or testify in the application saying that you have completed those hours. And so once you have those hours, you take the NAPLEX and the law exam, and once those are done, you can apply for your pharmacist license. And that's how you become pharmacist in US. The last part after the FPGE exam, I kind of rushed because this video was mainly how to become the intern license, and that was the question that gaming room, I think that's the name, they asked for. So I hope gaming room, now you are clear on the process of how to apply for the FPGE certification, or what's the process for the exam. And if you do have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time with another video. Until then, you take care. Bye. Hey guys, if you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and remember to subscribe to stay up to date on new weekly videos.